Bitcoin right now is leaving me feeling like I'm not bullish enough. You're probably not bullish enough either. In fact, I think no one is bullish enough for what is happening right now with the numbers we are seeing, the inflows we're seeing, the money showing up consistently to buy crazy amounts of Bitcoin. Blown away here. I want to talk about Bitcoin, the Bitcoin ETF, Bitcoin charts, what the price of Bitcoin is doing, talk about the Starknet airdrop, talk about the latest from Ethereum, and talk about Avalanche today. Big news, big stream, lots of fun stuff. And of course, answering your questions in the second half of this conversation. So stick around, hold your burning questions until then. We'll try and blast through the news, give you the goods, and then we'll get in from there. So the price of Bitcoin, bam, over 52K today, currently just back under by a little bit. This is a weekly chart. Very impressive breakout so far for Bitcoin from that range that we were in previously, right around $44,000. Nice, solid, strong candle body closes above that line are a nice thing to see. So definitely good momentum to start off with here. Moving in the right direction. Still have a MACD solid bull uptrend there. Of course, we had that crossover way back here. If you remember, we were talking about how bullish that was back then. Yeah, well, look how that's played out. Holy cow. We did have a slight threat of a bearish crossover here when there was a real possibility that we could have revisited 32K if enough selling had continued and so on and so forth, right? Narratives change quickly in the market. Price action changes quickly in the market, which is why even though we talk about the day-to-day price of Bitcoin, because I love talking about it, you love talking about it too. The truth is, I'm not super concerned about the day-to-day price of Bitcoin. I celebrate it when it's happening. And of course, altcoins have really been the ones making a lot of money recently. To put it all in a bit of perspective for you about how big this move for Bitcoin has been, I mean, we are up 20-some% in like 2 weeks. That's a big move for Bitcoin. But when altcoins catch up, when Bitcoin takes a breather, and that might be a few days, with these inflows coming in, holy cow, dude. When Bitcoin takes a breather, and it will, things will kick off big time for the altcoin crowd. Now, why is Bitcoin up 25% in 2 weeks? What the hell's going on here? Well, look at this. It's from today's volume for Bitcoin ETFs. BlackRock's was 690 million. GBTC 590 million. Huge volume. Now, volume is buy and sell. Okay, so it's not just buying volume. But man, oh man. Oh, hold on. Casual gaming. I missed the Illuvium trailer yesterday, man. I'll have to go and check that out later. Have to go and check that out. Big Illuvium fan, big Illuvium bag, of course. As always, if you want to know my portfolio, what coins I own, what venture investments I have, you can find a full portfolio disclosure in the description on YouTube or in the pinned comment on X, as well as a risk disclosure because crypto's risky and you can lose all your money. Hey, there you go. Okay, so huge volume for Bitcoin. I love to see it. That's great. But what's very interesting beyond just volume of people moving stuff back and forth is the actual net inflows of new cash coming into the market. We had $630 freaking million, man. What? Yeah. Ooh. That's a lot of money, man. That's a lot of money. Wow. We are seeing huge flows right now into Bitcoin. You have to understand this. I really want to just nail this home. What we've seen in the last 4 days of trading, and we're probably going to get the numbers very soon from today's day of trading as well for the 14th. This is just from the 13th, 630 million number. But what do we have? 4 days with $2 billion of inflows into Bitcoin, which, by the way, largely matches what Bank of America, I think Bank of America, Citibank said that about $100 million equals a 1% price rise. So we've seen 2 billion positive cash inflows, 20% price rise. What happens if another 2 billion flows in? Yo, we are looking at some crazy numbers, some crazy implications for the numbers here. If this continues, there may not be any breathers for Bitcoin. I mean, we could just get a crazy rally going on here, but let's not get too super excited. Of course, let's just, try and keep our heads screwed on tight here because market can always have surprises for you. For example, Genesis whose parent company is the Digital Currency Group. Anyway, they owe a lot of people a lot of money. They have $1.4 billion worth of Bitcoin in the Grayscale Bitcoin Trust, and they're going to sell because the court has just approved them. The bankruptcy court has just approved them to be able to sell those 35 million Grayscale Bitcoin Trust shares. So they're going to be basically dumping $1.4 billion worth of Bitcoin on the market in the coming days. There's your next FUD event. There's the next thing that's going to cause a 10% dip. And the sell-off won't actually be that bad, but the people freaking out over it, often in crypto, the bark is worse than the bite. Still, though, that's what, 3 days of inflows will be canceled out? That's some perspective for you, isn't it? We've had so many inflows in the past few days. I'm sure the 14th inflows are pretty strong too. But just for perspective, we had 4 days, the last 4 days of trading, not counting whatever today's final numbers were, the last 4 days of trading did $2 billion of cash coming in. Total positive net inflows are $2 billion bucks. So 1.3 billion exit. It's not even that big of a deal, man. Market might make it a big deal because the market likes to make mountains out of molehills, but just for perspective, it's not actually that big of a deal. Nice chart here from Neste. He says, this is what happened after each golden break previously. So the golden break is basically, we have this situation where during the market rally, pre-Bitcoin halving, markets have tended to come back up to the 0.618 Fibonacci line. Retracing after that. What happened this time, though, is we had that very short sell the news event post-Bitcoin halving. And I know a lot of people were like, well, there's the sell the news event, man. It was all super bullish. Well, there was a short sell the news event. Bitcoin's down 20% in case you've, got the memory of a goldfish here. That was 2 weeks ago, man. Bitcoin's down 20%. Then Grayscale outflows stopped or slowed down dramatically. Volume picked up at BlackRock and Fidelity and ARK. Boom. We've now crossed back over the 0.618 line, which has never happened once before a Bitcoin halving. And you can see what happened every time previously when we crossed over that 0.618 line. Basically, monster mega rallies. This is going to take a while. This is not overnight. We're looking at, again, the next year, the next 18 months of crazy, crazy market action. And I love it. You love it. So Market Maker says, if we're in a bull market, don't you think Bitcoin reached all-time highs by now? He says, last bull cycle, it took 399 days for Bitcoin to go from 3K to 64K, 1,500% gain. Currently, it's taken 455 days for Bitcoin to go from its peak low at 15K to 52K, only a 230% gain, which is where we're at now. My question is, why could we be taking so long? He said, here are my thoughts. Maybe it's a big bull trap. Maybe it's a big bull trap, right? He says, further, we already have Bitcoin ETF approval, likely an ETH ETF approval, so why aren't we going up faster? He says, I don't see or hear about institutional buys like big players adding $100 million. Maybe we're not in a bull market, but rather it's a big retracement to the upside on a macro level. I dig it. I've also noticed it takes 3 or 4 months post-halving for us to ignite the bull and go parabolic, so within that time, we still have potential to fall hard. Look, I share that just as a contrarian perspective to an extent, right? Everything's very, very bullish right now, and it's easy to get seduced by the bull energy. I know. I love getting seduced by bull energy. It's basically all I want to do all the time, every day. So there's that. But the truth is that we can still have major pullbacks in the market. There still can be big events, big scary news things, whatever it's going to be that can send the market back down. So don't just think things are only going to go up forever. I mean, the inflows from Bitcoin ETFs are mega bullish. There's no hiding the fact that this is a super mega crazy liquidity reality for the market, as we've discussed at great length before the Bitcoin ETF happened. Once we had the initial sell-off, then you have to deal with the reality of billions upon billions upon billions coming in. Yeah. Crazy stuff. Hey, I'm just going to answer this super chat real quick from Crypto Creme. Usually wait till the second half, but thanks for super chat, man. Says, been loving your content over the past 6 months. Any thoughts to share on Helium or Solana movers like Render lately? Don't have any good thoughts on that, my man. Thank you for the super chat, but I don't have any good opinion on Helium or on Render. Well, I mean, Render, obviously, the GPU marketplace. That's, I think, a great narrative. GPU marketplaces, Uber of GPU, if you will, on the blockchain. DePIN stuff is very hot. that's what I got to say about it. But we're not going to get too distracted into questions right now, but just saw that one, thought I'd give a quick shout out to that. But save those questions, guys, till the second half of the stream, okay? Now, quick note here from some commentary from Andrew here as well. His price discovery and price action on Bitcoin has materially changed. Bitcoin ETFs continue to demand any and all excess supply. Very different than pre-ETF crypto exchange demand supply price action. Today's move to 52K would have historically been quickly retraced by 5 to 10% intraday move. Bitcoin ETFs are now acting as an always on demand vacuum that are insatiable. And that's a great point. The Bitcoin ETFs, they are creating an insatiable level of demand. There's 2 million Bitcoin on exchanges. We've seen 50,000 or 40,000. It was 40,000 this week. No, probably 50,000 this week once we get today's number. 50,000 Bitcoin this week. Just this week, net inflows into Bitcoin ETF products. Holy crap. The ETFs, can you hear the sucking sound? Sucking all the Bitcoin in, man. BlackRock's coming for your coins and they're getting them. They're getting them, man. Of course, it's on behalf of their customers, obviously, right? But still, the liquidity reality of what's happening right now. I hope you understand how crazy this is. Hey, real quick note as well. If you are a cryptocurrency trader, you got yourself an account over on BYBIT, best damn place to be trading crypto. You can get up to $30,000 in bonuses when starting your account. You can trade futures. You can trade spot altcoins, all kinds of crazy cool spot altcoins over here to be trading. Check it out. Link in the description if you are a trader. So let's talk about the Starknet Airdrop. Yeah. Interesting. Starknet Airdrop's here. So if you have interacted with Starknet in the past, before November 15th, because that's when they took the snapshot, if you'd interacted with it before then, you might have an airdrop. Now, I got an airdrop. I'm getting like 500 Stark, which probably is not worth that much money, but hey, it's free money for like having spent maybe 2 hours or something on Solana, screwing around, doing a few swaps, whatever, like no big deal kind of stuff. If that gets me $1,000, $500, that's fine. $500 for 2 hours of my time, I'll take it. It's all good. And of course, as usual, Americans, you guys are being protected. The SEC is protecting you. You can't test software. Testing software is a crime in America. What? What? It's just, it's so sad. It's almost funny. And it sucks for you guys. It really is. Anyway, there you go. Say the Americans included from this one, right along with people from Cuba and North Korea and Syria and maybe Russia or something like that. Interesting club to be in. No pre-IPO stocks for you either. Anyway, you guys know this. It sucks. I feel bad for you. Anyway, Jason Choi here pointing out unpopular opinion. This is a good airdrop design, and everyone who's mad just wanted free money for doing nothing. So here's who got what. Starknet users got 50% of the airdrop. Ethereum stakers, this is actually a really big one. 19,000 early Ethereum stakers. We're talking early stuff here before the merge. Getting 22% of the tokens. Like if you were staking your ETH early, dude, you were getting paid out big time on this one. Ethereum developers, EIP authors, Ethereum protocol guild members, stuff like this. StarkX users. So if you were using DYDX back in the day, and I was, but I didn't qualify for the airdrop, I guess, as I was only staking or farming. I can't remember. I wasn't actually trading on DYDX. Should have traded. Should have done a few trades. Anyway, if you were trading on DYDX back in the day, like in 2021, you might have an airdrop there as well. So that's worth checking out. So it's very interesting, this one. Half to users and a very, very big, strong amount to Ethereum stakers and to developers. About a third of the airdrop going to developers. Of course, a lot of people are pissed off because a lot of people didn't get very much from the airdrop. So we had 1.3 million addresses in total who were eligible. And if you were just using Starknet, you didn't actually get very much money compared to, for example, this guy, a single commit to the GitHub. Didn't even do very much. That guy got 1,800 Stark. So if you were an early tester of the actual software and you were there playing around and doing stuff every day on Starknet and testing apps and bridging money and all this stuff. This is testing the software. You didn't get taken care of very well by the team over at Starknet. They didn't give you a lot of coins at the end of the day, unfortunately. So there's always, I bring this up because look, some people are definitely pissed off. I think this guy, what did he do? He had 500 plus transactions across 4 wallets, $100,000 in volume over 9 months, spent $1,000 in fees. This is an important thing to point out because, well, farmers were not taken care of. People who are actually there battle testing the software and the applications, risking their actual money. They were not taken care of very well. This guy spent $1,000 in fees. Where those fees goes? Starknet Foundation. Because he didn't have 0.005 ETH in his wallet on the day of the snapshot, everything he did was worthless. It is what it is. And look, I just want to point out with airdrops, this is the way it is, man. You can get pissed off if you want about airdrops. They're not fair. They're not fair. You never know exactly what's going to happen. When you have the point systems and stuff, at least you can know, okay, if I provide X amount of liquidity, I'm going to make X amount of points. I can get this position on the leaderboard. But a lot of these like big layer 2s, ZK Sync and Linea and Scroll, probably going to be this exact same situation. But a lot of these big layer 2s like Starknet, this is kind of it. It's just very arcane, hidden away, mystic. What's going to happen? We don't know. Somebody knew, of course. I'm sure that if you were to dig in enough on chain, you'd find a lot of wallets that magically just qualified for this. Anyway, there you go. You're not always going to get what you want on airdrops, man. Sometimes they are a big disappointment, and that's it. Very true. I liked this thought from this guy. Insightful here. It's an insightful thought from Insightful. He says, airdrop farmers are unironically your most valuable users. They generate more fees for your applications and chain more than any other user. They create more total value locked, more transactions, more on-chain metrics than any other user, which equals higher fully diluted value at the token generation event or for future raises for your Series B, C, D, whatever. They are much more engaged and consistent than your average users. It's true. It's true. Unfortunately, the team over at Starknet doesn't think very much of people who came and tested out their software for them. You can see this guy, Abdel Stark.eth. He is one of the earlier, he's one of the C-suite people over at Starknet. Anyway, he says, we don't owe you anything. No one asked you to do anything. We care about our community much more than you think. We are here for the long run. If you don't understand this, go farm useless bullshit projects. There are plenty of those. That wasn't where he stopped. Other comments coming out here in the Starknet chat as well. Did not realize this group was full of shitty people. Cry harder, stuff like that. So that's not really doing any great favors to the people who put in the time. And I get it. It's tough for these companies to do an airdrop properly. So it's not just, you're not just rewarding the team of, 500 dudes sitting in a warehouse in, China or whatever, just industrially farming this airdrop. I get it. It's tough. It's tough. You got to find a way to make sure that you're rewarding people appropriately. But I think this is a good point. Realistically, your farmers are the best battle-tested testers of your chain. They'll create the volume. They'll try to break things much more so than developers and stuff like that. And, developers deserve the reward too. I'm not saying that they don't, but it's just interesting, right? Hey, by the way, here's an interesting thought for you as thinking about airdrops. Again, if you're in the USA, sorry, you can't participate in this, but look how big the developer rewards were. Huge developer rewards for even doing just tiny, stupid, insignificant things. You got huge money. That makes me think for ZK Sync, Linea, and Scroll that doing what I've been doing, which is deploying NFT contracts, deploying token contracts, deploying, what are those called? Exchange contracts, even stuff like this. Could end up being a pretty good idea. We'll see how that plays out, of course, over time, obviously. Okay, let's move on. Let's talk about something. Congratulations, by the way, if you got Starknet Airdrop. I might even buy some more of that later because it feels like one of those things where it's gonna be like, oh, it's so hated. People are so pissed off at Starknet that it's gonna pump. It's gonna be this crazy hated rally because the tech at Starknet is good, and the token will capture some value staking in the future. You can use it to pay gas fees more than Arbitrum is capturing value, for example. So we'll see. I could be interested if the price is right. Keep an eye on that. Here's a fascinating stat for you. And this is partially to do with the price rise of ETH, but still it's pretty interesting, is that Ethereum main net total value locked is back close to an all-time high. It's been in the same range for 3.5 years, and we could be finally looking at a breakout. That means that we are about to see huge money being made. Everyone's going to be in profits. The wealth effect's going to come in. People are going to start doing riskier shit with their money. Altcoins are going to pump more. This is what starts happening in a bull market. Again, price going up is the best advertisement for crypto that can possibly happen because people start getting rich. Other people want to get rich too. And of course, we have the ETH ETF coming up. 100 days away, getting closer every moment with lots of other big narratives coming this year for ETH. We could see ETH steal the spotlight a little bit later in the year from Bitcoin, especially around the time of that ETF launch. Hey, what about our buddies over at Avalanche? Well, as Emperor Ozma points out here, Trader Joe has become the second largest decentralized exchange in terms of fees generated over the past 24 hours. Trader Joe is life after Uniswap. Look at that. Ahead of PancakeSwap. Yo, my Joe bags. What up? What up, Joe? Let's go. Daddy needs that sweet, sweet USDC rewards, man. I love it. I love it. Awesome. Awesome stuff. All right. AVAX also just experienced its largest inflow of stablecoin liquidity in over a year. That's noteworthy. Money's coming into the AVAX ecosystem. I dig it. I dig it absolutely. And Citibank used AVAX Layer 1's Spruce subnet to explore the tokenization of private equity funds to re-architecture capital markets. Did you hear what I just said? Citibank is testing out private equity on Avalanche. Avalanche's tech is very hot. Avalanche's tech is very cool. The subnet infrastructure is great. They've rolled out the, I guess, green carpet here, the Spruce subnet, with their offerings. Their subnet architecture is very cool. People are using it. People are paying attention. Big banks are paying attention. Banks, but still, they can bring the money on chain, right? So I dig that. That's pretty cool. And of course, we have this. We have this off the grid, as Yano from Blockworks here is pointing out. So I think this is the first crypto game on Xbox. 60-hour narrative campaign, 150-player battle royale, 250-plus employees. Neil Blomkamp of District 9 fame is the chief creative. Economy is fully on-chain. Avalanche subnet, custom in-game NFT wallet. This is on Avalanche. This is on Avalanche. By the way, I'm a private investor in Off the Grid, and I'll be running nodes and when they come out as well. So that's going to be very, very exciting. But man, this one is going to go crazy. This is one of those games I've got very, very high conviction in. So we'll see. We'll see how that plays out. Hey, before we dive into your questions here, guys, just a quick note. If you're not signed up to Wealth Master newsletter yet, you are missing the heck out. Best damn newsletter in the cryptocurrency industry. I know I say that all the time, but I say it because it's true. Me and my team spend about 40 hours a week putting this bad boy together. Altcoin reports, DeFi tutorials, so much airdrop alpha. It's actually kind of absurd sometimes. Altcoin alpha. We even talk about the news. I know, crazy for a newsletter. Look, I get it. You're busy. Life's busy. You can check this out. We're going to hand you a lot of great money-making alpha in this newsletter every single week. You can sign up for free and join our 100,000 weekly readers with the link down below. So that's the news. Let's do some questions. Wait a second. Hold on. Gotta hydrate here. Gotta hydrate here in our daily quest to have Perrier sponsor the channel. No, I don't want Perrier to sponsor the channel, man. But you do need to drink some water, guys. Gets thirsty up here talking for 25 minutes straight. Okay. Somebody just asked the question. I wanted to answer this one about the early cycle. Let's see if I can find it again real quick or not. Here we go. S. Dallas. There we go. I thought it was a good question to start off with. And we just addressed this the other day, but he says, Lark, we need your opinion on Bitcoin's left translated cycle theory. Can it happen? So basically, this is the idea that we are going to hit all-time highs sooner. So this is actually going to make a video on this for you guys in a few days, really breaking down the for and against of such a theory. And look, everything is just a theory. Nobody can predict the future. And we can look at, okay, this has happened before and these charts match this pattern. Sure. Nobody can predict the future. Nobody. Maybe Nostradamus could. Probably not. Maybe Edgar Casey. Probably not. Anyway, could we have an earlier peak? I think if we get an all-time high price or a new price high, break past the previous all-time high, which is technically an all-time high price, before the Bitcoin halving, all bets are off. We're breaking the cycle in a very interesting way. And that could have us up 200-300K by the end of the year, which sounds crazy, but things could get a lot crazier than we could even realize, to be honest. So, yeah, I'm open to the idea. Again, I'm looking for crazy euphoria in the market, which is not here. We're at 50K Bitcoin, $2 trillion market cap. Nobody cares. Normies don't care. This is institutional money entering the market, and we have not seen the retail herd show up yet. We have not seen the mania phase start yet. So wait for that. Don't get too hung up on any one theory. Have the theories in mind. Have an open mind all the time in this market. That's one of the best ways to make money, is to have an open mind. Okay. Sean says, just what I came for. The Perrier, man. Okay. Jonathan says, any thoughts on Milky Way? They just announced a point system for liquid staking of TIA. I'm starting to get airdrop fatigue. Ah, dude, I am totally getting airdrop fatigue. Holy crap. Man, what's going on? Yeah, I'm in TIA. I'm in Milky Way. I've been staking on Milky Way already for a month, something like that. So I already have points, which is good. And I'll keep staking there. I'll keep farming that one. I know there's a new one coming out, Stride, that's doing 5% of their coins or something. I don't know. I might buy another $1,000 in TIA or something and drop it over there. But airdrop fatigue, man. I totally feel you on that one. It's hard to keep track of even what's going on anymore. Where's reality? I don't know. Ryan says Casper the highest tech crypto because it's the only one that solves the blockchain trilemma. Many experts predict it in the top 3 before the next bull run. What do you think about BlockDAG technology? First BlockDAG. Well, I'm going to say I like Caspa. I have nothing wrong. Nothing against Caspa. We've done research reports and stuff on it. I don't own any. I know, shocking. I can't own every coin. I know every time I tell somebody I don't own your coin, they're like, how could you not own my coin? But I've researched and it's the best coin in the universe. And it's going to go have the maximum amount of gains possible of any cryptocurrency ever in the history of crypto. I wish your Caspa bags very, very well. I hope you make wild amounts of money. I would say, though, these experts predicting it to be in the top 3, take everything with a grain of salt, because maybe it is the one. Maybe it is truly the Neo. You are the one. Yes, you will break the matrix. Maybe Casper really is the one, and it goes to number 3. But I want to tell you this: almost every major blockchain that I've seen come out over the past 7 or 8 years I've been in this industry, has it really been that long? Holy crap. Some expert, quote unquote, at some point has said, this is going to be a top 3 cryptocurrency. It's going to be a top 5 cryptocurrency. Guess what? 99% of those predictions never come true. It's just people talking up their own bags. And I love talking up my own bags. Bitcoin to the moon. But just try to keep things realistic, okay? Because trying to think for your coin, okay, this is going to be top 3, and I'm not selling it till it gets to the top 3, or maybe you don't even sell it then because the euphoria takes over your brain. This is going to flip Bitcoin now, man. Now we're in the top 3. Now it's going to flip Bitcoin. Yeah, I've heard it all before, man. And again, I hope yours is the exception. I hope it does go to number 3. I would be here for that and be excited about that, and I'd love to see it because I know a lot of you guys make a lot of money. It'd be fantastic. But be careful about such narratives because they will convince you not to sell when the time comes. And I'll tell you what, Caspa, Cool Tech, all that stuff, still going down 90% in the next bear market. Very few things are immune to that. You might be lucky. You might be one of the ones that only goes down 70% in the next bear market. Yeah. Okay. We're up to great questions so far, guys. We're going to try and catch up to the chat here a little bit. Mr. Harry Lazani says, there's only one airdrop in 6 years I wasn't able to claim. You just have to use a VPN. Not hearing it from me. But VPNs are a thing, guys. VPNs are a thing. Edward, Lark, have you ever made your own coins? Yes, but just for fun, okay? I know there's a lot of influencers and stuff that make their own coins, and then release them for their audience. I don't, man, that shit's not a good investment. What are you guys doing? Don't buy that crap. Look, I made my own coins on Linea, ZK Sync, and Scroll, and my own NFT collections on those networks for the explicit purpose of creating developer activity and smart contract activity so that I can hopefully farm their airdrops. But otherwise, no, I'm not into doing that sort of stuff. Sue says VPNs are great. I'm in the States. There you guys get VPNs. VPNs are your friend, okay? It's interesting because I feel like in the States, a lot of people don't use VPNs as sort of a standard thing, whereas in a lot of other countries, people are just very much standardly using VPNs because of the way the internet is sort of siloed and how some countries are rampantly discriminated against in the world of the internet as it is. And if you want to access certain sites, you're better to do it through a VPN. So I guess America's joining that club for the crypto scene anyway. Joe, how do you resist the urge to go all in on BTC? Super easy, man. Super easy. Well, one, I've already got my bags packed, so there's that. And I get if you, Joe, I don't know how long you've been here, how long you've been in the market, but I accumulated quite a bit during the bear market. My last sort of fiat purchase was mid 30K, something like that. And I just don't see much of a reason to buy any more Bitcoin at this particular point. I'm actually making a video about that very topic in a few days. Heads will explode. It'll be glorious. But the main thesis of that video is this. The upside for Bitcoin right now is limited. I know the Bitcoin ETFs are here. I understand the inflows. I understand the money showing up. That has the potential to push Bitcoin up to $150,000, $250,000 maybe. Peak price for the bull run. Could you imagine a $250,000 Bitcoin? Gosh, I think my first Bitcoin I ever bought, I think I bought it around like $2,700, something like that. So that would be pretty interesting to see a $250,000 Bitcoin from that perspective. Who says you can't 100x on Bitcoin? Anyway, why wouldn't I go all in on BTC right now? One, I've got my bags packed. Two, the reality is if Bitcoin, and this is how it works during a bull market, okay? There's a time and a place for this. Long-term, Bitcoin outperforms the vast majority of altcoins because the vast majority of altcoins are shit and go down to zero. Or they just fail to do anything and they just stagnate for years and then probably go down to zero still anyway. Like seriously, people are still buying like just some random crap coins from like 2017. People still ask me about them. Like nobody talks about that. Why are you buying this? What are you doing? Nobody talks about these coins anymore. Nobody's using this crap. No narrative around it. But here's the thing. Bitcoin goes to 250K. Nice. That means Bitcoin's now worth $5 trillion. Okay. Good. 400% gains from here. Man. Big, right? However, if Bitcoin does that, then altcoins are probably also going to be worth 4 to 5 trillion total in market cap, which means that all my mid-cap altcoins are going to go up 20 to 50x. Those numbers sound crazy. So what are you talking about? It's nuts, man. No, that's what happens in this crypto market. This crypto market is so volatile, so insane. When things get going, it gets going crazier than anybody can even realize it. It breaks my brain to think about it. So, okay. If you really want to get more Bitcoin right now, of course, riskier, obviously. Nothing is without risk in these markets. But you probably want to get some solid altcoins because they're going to outperform Bitcoin eventually. Right now, Bitcoin's kind of sucking all the air out of the room. So there is that, okay? And there'll be a time when Bitcoin goes up, 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 and your altcoins do fuck all. And then they catch up. They don't just catch up, they outperform Bitcoin. So you might be able to get an altcoin that has, let's say, a 2,000% gain versus Bitcoin's 400% gain. So that means if you put $50,000 into altcoin A and you wait and it goes up 5x versus Bitcoin, you can get 5 times as much Bitcoin. Obviously, no guarantees in that. Yeah, that coin can also go down by 90%. Having Bitcoin's having Bitcoin at the end of the day. And not having Bitcoin is not having Bitcoin. And my opinion on this might be different if I had no Bitcoin at all. I might be much more interested in aping into a bunch of Bitcoin. But right now, I got my Bitcoin bags packed, and I'm looking at altcoins as the big opportunity coming up in the market where they're going to outperform sometimes dramatically versus Bitcoin. But good question. Interesting question, Joe. Thank you very much. Okay. Tone says, take profits now. Everybody, of course, make their own decisions. He said, I just took 3K profit. I'll make more than that in the bull run. Pay yourselves and pay your bills. Look, Tone, it's an interesting thought because everybody has their own ideas. You might just be trading, man, and having a good time doing that. Other people have got like long-term Bitcoin bags they want to hold for 10 years. So just remember that when you're hearing about somebody taking profits and, man, you're making money, so I salute you. Don't get that wrong. I salute you, man. You're making money and I love it. Everybody's going to have a different plan. And that's one of the key things that you need to understand as an investor is that you need to have your own plan. Don't follow what I'm doing. Don't follow what any of your other favorite content creators are doing. Don't follow some cartoon llama on Twitter, X, called X now, whatever they're doing. You need to make your own decisions at the end of the day. And if you have certain ideas around price targets and whatever, then that's your plan and you follow that plan. Okay. Okay. What are we up to next? Great questions, guys. Lots of interesting thoughts coming through here. Solid Snake. Man, what was that game? Game back in the day, man. It was the one on PlayStation, the first big Metal Gear Solid on PlayStation. Man, the amount of hours I played. Anyway, back in the day when I was a kid. Anyway, so he said, back to reality check. Remember, most coins will disappear and not to marry projects. Coins will usually 10x or 20x. However, 100x's are lucky, so stay level-headed. Yes, 100x's are much rarer. You're getting a 10 or 20x in this market. It's not crazy at all. You just have to have the fortitude to stay with it through the volatility. Different approaches to different market caps and different styles of coins and different risk profiles of coins. Like I've got 20 coins in my portfolio and all of them I look at differently in some way or another. And very, very good point, of course, is that when the time comes to sell, you got to get the heck out because most coins will disappear and do not marry your projects. Yes, do not get married to these coins. They're not going to marry you back. It's an abusive relationship. And at some point, you just need to cut ties and run when the price is right, of course. The vast majority of these altcoins that are the big hot things right now, they're not going to last the next cycle. They won't be here in 4 years. Some of them will be, but nobody's going to talk about them anymore. They'll be dead. There'll be no narrative. Some will come back. Some will go on to new highs. But the majority of them will not. It's important to take your profits. Like I've said before, I plan on exiting my altcoins, all the altcoins, all of them at the end of the cycle. Or hopefully at the end of the cycle. Hopefully I time it good enough, but we'll see how we go. Cater88 says, I'm 60% allocated only. I thought I'd have another 4 or 5 months to accumulate. Now I'm getting massive FOMO. Can you please hold me tenderly and tell me I'm going to make it? You're going to make it, buddy. You're going to make it. Hey, look, I'd say go and watch the video that I made about you have like 9 months left to buy or something. I made it 2 weeks ago or something like that. And that gives you a pretty good way to think about how the market's going. I understand the FOMO. Dollar cost averaging is your friend in that situation, takes a little bit of stress away. But once we cross over and start hitting new highs, once we take out 70K and start grinding higher, that's when it's probably time to really rein in the buying. There's probably not a lot of great buying opportunities from that point moving forward. I mean, there still will be. There's going to be hot new coins to come out and hot new airdrops to farm and trade opportunities. Things will pull back 30, 40% and then you can hop in something. But for the most part, you want to have a lot of your accumulation done by the time we hit 70K for Bitcoin. And that's not that far away. Might be 6 months, though. It might be 6 months. Stuff can happen, guys. Just because we're getting $2.5 billion in inflows in the last 5 days for Bitcoin ETF products doesn't mean that's what's going to happen next week and the week after that 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 and the week after that. And after that. Okay, so keep in mind. Yes, Sean, I heard that. Polkadot's getting a burning mechanism. We covered that yesterday. Was that yesterday? Yeah, yesterday in the live stream, we talked about that. That's really cool. Super excited about that. By the way, guys, hot airdrop coming up too for the dead coin. I've got my DOT in my Nova wallet ready. We're ready for the airdrop. Gonna be a big one. Okay, where are we up to? Do 2 or 3 more here, guys, and then we'll finish up for today. Our Tomco says, invest in low cap, low supply coins. That's the best way to make money. That's one way to make money. And everyone's got their niche, right? Like for me, I basically almost completely ignore NFTs. I like NFTs. I do. I like the art. I like the idea. The tech, really cool. I've got no time for that crap, man. I really don't. I'm just not interested in the whole game of NFTs. It doesn't get me going. Gaming, I like gaming, and that's has to do with NFTs, but I don't invest in gaming NFTs per se. I like gaming. I like DeFi. I like blockchains. That's why my main core of my portfolio. I got some other stuff I play around with. I have some AI stuff and some metaverse stuff, whatever, which is basically gaming anyway. But for the most part, that's where I'm focused at, those sort of narratives. Kieran says, Lark, do you use a hardware wallet? Do you feel safe carrying it around with you while traveling? $5 wrench attack. Well, Kieran, the thing to remind yourself is this. If you have a ledger, for example, I'm sure other hardware wallets work basically the same, but if you have a ledger and somebody whacks you over the head with a wrench, the $5 wrench attack, they have 3 attempts to guess it correctly, and then it resets. So you got your ledger, right? Here you go. You got your ledger, you got your little hardware wallet, right? They steal it. They run away with it. You've got your 8-digit PIN set up. And the chances of them correctly guessing that, as long as it's not 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, right? Or 1, 2, 3, 4, if you're just using a 4-digit PIN, the odds of them correctly guessing that are very, very small. If they guess it wrong 3 times, it resets. You're fine because you're not taking your private keys with you, right? Your 12-word passphrase on a piece of paper. You're not like putting that right next to your ledger wallet, because that's how you're going to lose your money if they get your hardware wallet. If they get it and they don't have the information, then chances are you're going to be okay, because they won't be able to guess your PIN. I guess 1 in 10,000 chance they're right, or more if you have an 8-digit PIN set up. Okay. Good question, though. The security is very, very serious, guys. Make sure you have hardware wallets. Best way to keep your coins safe, okay? Seriously, loads of great questions here as I'm cruising through. Jan, I saw your question earlier about eGold, and I feel like it needs some narrative. Look, I'm still holding my eGold bags. I'm actually talking about this in the newsletter this week, where it's one of those ones that's kind of been on my short list of, should I sell it? I don't know if I will. I feel like eGold tech is great, but there's lots of blockchains with really great tech. It's true. The question is, can they get the narrative? And we're already seeing new blockchains, new layer 2s and crap that are launching, and already getting higher TVLs, and they're getting more applications launching on them, and they're getting narrative, they're getting hype. And I'm not feeling that right now with eGold. And I hope that they do. I've got a big eGold bag. It's like 3 or 4% of my portfolio. So I'm hoping that they do find that narrative soon. But it's on the short chopping block along with a few others. I'm even considering the Arbitrum bag. Like, Arbitrum's been such a slow mover. The biggest layer 2, but the token just not capturing value. Don't know. These are just thoughts. I haven't actually done this yet. But definitely eGold's one that I'm looking at and going, guys, can we get some narrative? Let's make some hype. Let's make some noise. But they got to bring some stuff out that gets people really excited. And I know the tech's cool. I know. But there's a lot of blockchains out there that have great tech that not a lot of people talk about anymore. And you need some hype and some narrative to see good price appreciation. People need to be excited to go and buy your coin. And there's a lot of competition out there. So that's my thoughts currently on eGold. Still holding my bag, but considering selling. We'll see how it goes. Haven't sold yet. Metal Gear Solid. Good game on PlayStation, man. Good game for sure. All right. Oh my gosh, we're so far. It always happens. I get so far behind in the chat. Thoughts on Harmony 1? Not really. No. No one's talking about Harmony, man. No one, nobody was really talking about Harmony last cycle either. Harmony's from 2017, 2018. I think launched in 2018. And nobody was really talking about Harmony back in 2021 until sort of like things really started pumping, and then they got a little bit of stuff happening. And was there a bridge hack or something like that? And it kind of had a hard time recovering from that. And I've not heard a lot of people talking about Harmony. again, great tech, good blockchain, all this stuff, but without narrative, without hype, without people talking about it, without people getting excited about it and bridging their money over and all the rest of the stuff, it's going to struggle. Maybe they got a really big, new, exciting news launch coming up that I'm not aware of because I'm not really paying attention to Harmony. And that's going to be everybody like, oh my gosh, how do we ignore Harmony? This is the new paradigm of money. Let's all ape in. That could happen, but I haven't seen that recently. Yo, we'll finish on this because this is fantastic. This is fantastic. Don't marry your bags. If it's life-changing profit, change your life. What a great sentiment to end the stream on. And it's absolutely true. You'll take your profits or the market will take them for you. And I've seen so many people fumble truly life-changing money in this market just because the greed gets the best of them. You see, you do it all right and your portfolio is worth millions and you don't sell a damn thing and you ride it all back down to 10,000 bucks. The psychology of that's destructive. You're going to hate yourself for years for doing that. Change your life. If you see it on the table, change your life. Okay? You don't have to take it all at once. It's a mistake people make. They think, oh, I've got to sell 100% of my coins. No, man, you could sell 10%, 20, 30%, 30, 40, 50% of your coins. Still have half your bag. Some of you guys are going to make so much money. Not everybody. So many guys. Some of you guys are going to make so much money that you're going to see, and even half that money is going to change your life. And you won't take any damn profit because you're going to get too greedy and say, yeah, but if only it doubles tomorrow. And then it doesn't. And then you start bargaining. Before you know it, you're down 50%. You could have taken 50% off the table, changed your life, and kept the other half just in case it did double tomorrow or next week or next month or whatever. Food for thought, guys. Peace out. We'll see you next time. Thanks for watching. I love you all. Bye.